Chosen one. Listen carefully. Heaven pauses for you. The stillness surrounding you right now is not emptiness, it is divine focus. The angels have stopped their movement, and the wind has hushed. For heaven is making an announcement over your life. You have passed the test. Every trial, every moment you thought would break you, was being watched from above. And now, the Father speaks. You endured. You remained faithful. You did not give up when others turned away. This is not coincidence. This is divine confirmation. You are hearing this at the exact second heaven intended, because the page has turned. You have crossed from endurance to elevation, from testing to triumph. When you felt invisible, heaven saw everything, every tear, every prayer whispered in pain, every act of obedience, when no one applauded it, was recorded. The silence you endured was not punishment, it was proof that you were in training. The wilderness was never meant to destroy you, it was designed to reveal what could not be broken within you. You were being refined, not rejected. The delay was your development. And now, the gates of heaven open and declare, "Rise, beloved, for your season of recognition has begun. Your name is being spoken in places you have never entered. Your obedience has triggered divine motion. The angels assigned to your destiny are moving into position because your test results have reached the throne room. Heaven's record says approved, anointed, appointed. There are voices in high places, whispering your name with divine purpose. People you have never met will feel compelled to help you, not by chance, but by heavenly instruction. Every closed door from your past was redirecting you toward this moment of supernatural alignment and recognition. And listen closely, unseen hands are arranging opportunities, conversations, and encounters that will confirm what heaven has already decided. The favor that follows you now cannot be denied. The same God who tested you is the one now elevating you for his glory and your destiny. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." This is the moment where you realize what heaven has known all along. You were never meant to blend in. You were never designed to disappear. You are the light chosen to shine when darkness thought it had won. That's why you had to go through the nights of testing, so your glow would be genuine, not borrowed. So your faith would be flame, not flicker. Chosen one. Feel the shift in the atmosphere. The very air around you is responding to this divine decree. The same pain that almost ended, you will now become the story that inspires others. You will carry the fragrance of endurance, the scent of someone who has walked through fire and come out radiant. What looked like a breakdown was a breakthrough in disguise. What seemed like silence was strategy. God was not ignoring you. He was inspecting your heart, ensuring that when he lifted you, pride would not poison the promotion. That's why he allowed you to face what others couldn't survive, because he knew you'd come through purified, not bitter. Your reward begins now. The Spirit says, your private obedience has earned public favor. Watch how quickly the winds shift. Watch how the doors that once refused to open now swing wide at your arrival. Heaven has declared your readiness. You are stepping into visibility, not for vanity, but for victory. You are about to be seen for who you really are, a vessel of light, a living testimony of divine resilience. Listen closely. This is not just encouragement, it is a commissioning. The Father is entrusting you with influence, with authority, with a voice that carries the sound of heaven. But never forget, your voice must still carry his heart. Move in love. Lead with humility. Let your rise reflect his grace, not your glory. Every step you take now carries prophetic weight. The ground beneath you recognizes divine authority. The warfare that once surrounded you has begun to crumble because the enemy cannot contend with someone who has passed the test. You are untouchable in the areas you've already conquered. Lift your head. Chosen one, the heavens are rejoicing. The earth is aligning, and your spirit is awakening to destiny. You are walking into a new level of clarity, confidence, and calling. This is your moment to stand firm, to speak boldly, to shine without apology. If this message resonates within your soul, act on it. Like this message so it reaches more warriors who are still in their testing season. Share it with someone who needs to hear heaven's verdict. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, because this is only the beginning of what God is unfolding for his chosen ones. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, type this number in the comments to seal your covenant with heaven: 777, chosen one. Now that heaven has spoken your victory, it is time to understand the meaning of your wilderness, that season that felt endless, where the silence of God echoed louder than thunder, was not a punishment. It was a divine classroom, and you were being prepared for what you are about to walk into. Every unanswered prayer was an invitation to deeper trust. Every delay was heaven's training ground for your discernment. You wondered why the path was so narrow, why others advanced easily while you carried weight that seemed unbearable. But the truth is, the wilderness was never about what was taken from you. It was about what was being built within you. God was shaping your endurance, developing the muscles of your faith, teaching you to hear his voice without the noise of the crowd. You walked through deserts so that your roots would grow deep. You endured isolation so that you would learn to depend on divine provision, not human applause. You were hidden so that no counterfeit opportunity could distract you from true purpose. The wilderness was heaven's protection disguised as loneliness. You did not fail in that season. You were being formed. Every night you cried and still whispered, "I trust you," became a brick in the foundation of your destiny. What others called a setback, heaven called sacred preparation. God never wastes pain. He repurposes it into power. Think of how the Israelites wandered 40 years in the desert, not because God was cruel, but because they were being transformed from slaves into sons, from survivors into stewards of promise. You, too, have been through your own 40 years in miniature. You have been detoxing from the lies of the world, shedding the identity that fear once gave you, and becoming aligned with who heaven says you are. In your wilderness, you discovered what matters most. You learned that peace is not the absence of storms, but the presence of God within them. You learned that faith is not proven when life is easy, but when everything screams that you should quit. You learned to fight silently, to worship when weary, to believe without seeing. The wilderness stripped you of illusions and revealed your authenticity. It took away false attachments and shallow comforts until you learned to stand on one truth, that you are never alone. Even when heaven felt silent, God was closer than breath. Scripture says in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, verse 2, "Remember how the Lord your God led you in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and test you, to know your heart. That verse is the mirror of your journey. You were led, not lost. God used the wilderness to test the quality of your heart, not to measure your worth, but to reveal your readiness. Every trial exposed what needed healing. Every silence uncovered what needed surrender. Heaven was watching as you learned to praise through pain. The tests were not meant to fail you, they were designed to refine you. The wilderness became your proving ground, your place of consecration. You discovered that victory doesn't begin in visibility, it begins in obedience. The fire that tried to consume you only purified you. The loneliness that once felt unbearable became the place where you met God face to face. The desert winds whispered revelation that crowds could never teach. You learned that survival is not strength, surrender is. And now, when you look back, you see the hand of God in every barren stretch. He was not absent in the silence, he was sculpting your spirit for destiny. He withheld certain things so that your roots could go deeper. He delayed your arrival so that your character could match your calling. Your heart became strong enough to carry what is coming next. The lessons etched into your soul in the wilderness are now your authority in the promised land. You understand timing, humility, and perseverance in ways only fire can teach. That's why you can no longer be shaken by small storms, because you've already survived the great one. You carry the fragrance of faithfulness, the mark of endurance, the sound of one who has walked with God in dry places. That is your true qualification. The wilderness was your ordination ceremony, unseen by men but witnessed by heaven. Every scar now glows with divine meaning. Every tear was a seed, and those seeds are about to bloom into abundance. You are ready, not because life got easier, but because your spirit got stronger. The same God who led you through scarcity will now lead you into overflow. Walk forward with peace. You are no longer a wanderer. You are a warrior refined by solitude. You do not carry the dust of defeat, you carry the oil of endurance. The wilderness was never a detour. It was destiny's hidden door. And you, beloved, walked through it faithfully. Chosen one, you have walked through the wilderness. And now heaven turns your attention to the breaking that built you. You thought you were being destroyed, but in truth, you were being redefined. Every heartbreak, betrayal, and disappointment was not meant to erase you. It was meant to expose the unshakable foundation within you. The breaking was never the end of you. It was the birthplace of your strength. There were nights you cried until your voice vanished. Mornings you woke up feeling hollow. Moments when faith felt like a fragile whisper, barely holding on. But even then, you didn't collapse. You bent, but you did not break. The pain you endured was shaping your capacity to carry glory. Heaven cannot place heavy crowns on fragile hearts. So your heart had to be fortified through fire. The breaking stripped away false attachments. It removed what you thought you needed so you could discover what you truly carry. Every time you were rejected, heaven was redirecting. Every door that slammed in your face was protection from paths that would have crushed your spirit. The breaking was not punishment, it was precision. God knew what needed to fall apart for you to finally stand complete in Him. You see, gold is purified only by fire. Diamonds form only under pressure. Olive oil flows only after crushing. Likewise, your anointing flows because of what you've survived. You are not the same as before. You speak with more grace now. Walk with more peace. Love with more wisdom. The breaking was the sacred surgery that removed your dependence on anything but God. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Those words were written for you, chosen one. Every trouble, every test, every hidden wound, it all carried a weight of purpose. Heaven saw your endurance and recorded it as worship, while others saw loss. God saw preparation for glory. The pain was temporary, but the transformation is eternal. You are stronger because of what you survived. What once broke you now bows to you. You walk with quiet confidence because you have been through storms that others only fear. You know what it feels like to be shattered and still sing. You understand that sometimes God allows things to break so that light can finally get in. When you were broken, you learned compassion. When you were wounded, you discovered wisdom. When you were alone, you encountered authenticity. That's the paradox of divine breaking. It dismantles your illusions and introduces you to your true identity. You thought you were losing yourself, but in reality, you were finding who you were always meant to be. There is beauty in your scars. They are no longer symbols of defeat. They are testimonies of deliverance. When you speak now, your words carry power because they come from a place of lived revelation. Heaven trusts your voice because it was birthed in the fire of pain and purified in the silence of surrender. Do you understand what your story represents? You have become living proof that grace is greater than grief. The very things that tried to bury you became the soil for your resurrection. God never wastes a wound. He turns it into a weapon against darkness. That's why your story will heal others. It carries the fragrance of survival and the strength of someone who has seen the valley, yet still chooses the mountain. The enemy hoped the breaking would silence you, but it only made your voice louder in the spirit. Every tear watered your authority. Every loss deepened your compassion. Every disappointment sharpened your discernment. You now walk with the awareness of someone who knows pain may visit, but it cannot reign. And when you look at your reflection, don't see the cracks, see the craftsmanship. God's fingerprints are all over your scars. You were broken in the hands of the potter, not in the grip of the enemy. And in his hands, even shattered pieces become sacred vessels. So stand tall, chosen one. The breaking was the building. What you thought ended you has empowered you. What felt like destruction was actually divine reconstruction. You are whole not because you avoided the breaking, but because you embraced it and allowed God to remake you into something stronger, purer, and more radiant than before. Now, let your voice echo this truth across the heavens and the earth. Declare it not as a whisper of survival, but as a shout of victory. Type this in the comments as a prophetic declaration and reminder to yourself, I rise healed. When you write those words, you are not just commenting, you are testifying. You are agreeing with heaven that the season of breaking has ended and the season of rebuilding has begun. You are marking this moment in the spirit realm, sealing it as your turning point. Because from this day forward, your scars will no longer speak of suffering, they will sing of strength. Chosen one, the breaking season has passed, and heaven now draws back the veil to show you what has been happening all along. The courtroom of heaven has been in session, and your name has been spoken in the presence of the Almighty. Every accusation, every false word, every spiritual attack that tried to disqualify you has been brought before the judge of all creation. And now, the verdict is clear. Approved, appointed, anointed. The trials of your life were not random misfortunes. They were spiritual proceedings. The enemy presented evidence of your weakness, of your failures, of the moments you doubted your own worth. But in the midst of those accusations, the blood of Jesus spoke louder. Every time you repented, every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, every time you stood when you could have fallen, your obedience became testimony. Heaven witnessed your faithfulness, and grace overruled guilt. The heavenly gavel has struck. The case is closed. You have been justified not by perfection, but by persistence. The court of eternity has declared your innocence through mercy. Your record in heaven reads, cleansed, redeemed, restored. This is the mystery of divine justice, where the guilty walk free because love paid the price. You see, the courtroom of God does not operate like the systems of men on earth. Accusation seeks to condemn, but in heaven, it only reveals who truly belongs to grace. The enemy tried to use your past as evidence, but the judge saw your transformation and declared it proof of divine authorship. You are not a case to be judged anymore. You are a vessel to be commissioned. The Spirit of Truth stands as your advocate, reminding all creation that your story carries divine legitimacy. Your scars are not signs of failure, but seals of victory. Each one testifies that you survived the crossfire of accusation and came out clothed in righteousness. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Zechariah, chapter 3, verse 4, "See, I have taken away your sin, and I will put fine garments on you." That is what has happened in the unseen realm. The rags of shame have been replaced with garments of glory. The ashes of regret have been exchanged for robes of renewal. Where the accuser once mocked, angels now marvel. You are not who you used to be. Heaven has redefined your identity. The verdict means more than forgiveness, it means reinstatement. You are not merely pardoned, you are positioned. The authority that was once dormant in you is now awakened. God does not only cleanse, He crowns. He does not only redeem, He restores purpose to the redeemed. You are not a survivor of judgment, you are a carrier of justice. Heaven's courtroom has now turned into heaven's council chamber, and you are being handed divine instructions for the next phase of your calling. You were tested, refined, and now commissioned. The same voice that said, "Let there be light," now says, "Let my light shine through you." You are heaven's verdict made visible. You might not have heard the sound of the gavel, but your spirit has felt it. The sudden peace, the quiet confidence, the lifting of unseen burdens, that is the effect of divine acquittal. The warfare that once surrounded you has lost its right to remain. The accusations that once tormented you now fall silent, for they have no more standing in the court of heaven. You are free, not just emotionally, but legally in the Spirit. The legal hold of darkness over your destiny has been broken. Where shame once bound you, favor now embraces you. The heavens are no longer silent, they are singing your vindication. Now, as you walk forward, do so with the awareness of one who has been cleared, chosen, and called. The weight you feel lifting from your shoulders is not imagined. It is the residue of accusation being removed. Every lie spoken over your life has been erased from heaven's records. The voice of the Lord now echoes within you. You are mine. I have seen your trial. I have heard your cry. and I have declared your name before the angels. This is not the end of the story. It is the moment the story shifts from defense to destiny. The time of proving is over. The time of purpose begins. Walk as one who knows the court of heaven stands behind you. When you speak truth, creation listens, because heaven has authorized your voice. When you move in obedience, the earth responds, because your steps have been cleared by divine decree. Chosen one, stand firm in this verdict. Never again bow to guilt that grace has already conquered. Never again apologize for the anointing heaven has affirmed. You are not under review, you are under release. The judgment has been rendered in your favor, and eternity bears witness. You belong to the King, and the King has spoken. Chosen one, heaven's verdict has been declared, and now the time of silence ends. The season of hiding of unseen battles and quiet victories is giving way to a divine unveiling. The one who called you in secret is about to announce you in the open. You are stepping from the shadows into the spotlight of divine purpose, not for your glory, but for His. For years, you felt buried, misunderstood, even overlooked. But the truth is, you were never buried, you were planted. Seeds always disappear before they sprout. Deep under the soil, in the pressure of darkness, your purpose germinated. The silence was your incubation. And now, the earth itself is trembling, because your time to break through the surface has arrived. There are people waiting for your story, even if they don't know it yet. Your light carries keys that will unlock hope in others. You have become a voice that heals because your pain has turned into wisdom. And like a tree emerging from the soil, your growth will bring shade, nourishment, and beauty to those around you. Every moment you thought was wasted was actually watering your roots. Every delay deepened your dependence. Every not yet from heaven was a preparation for now. And now the now has come. Heaven's timing has aligned with your readiness. What was once hidden in faith is about to be revealed in fullness. The Spirit whispers to you, come forth, not with fear, not with hesitation, but with the quiet confidence of one who knows who sent them. You carry messages that were written in your wilderness, lessons that can only be taught by the wounded who found healing. Don't hide your scars, they are the ink of your testimony. The world doesn't need perfection, it needs authenticity. And authenticity is born in the dark, not the spotlight. You are not rising to perform, you are rising to illuminate. You will speak words that pierce confusion, create calm in chaos, and ignite faith in hearts that have grown cold. Heaven's promotion is never about fame, it's about fruit. When God lifts you, it is because others will eat from your branches. Every gift He has placed within you is meant to feed the hungry, comfort the broken, and guide the lost home. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 16, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. That's what's happening now. The gifts within you, the compassion, the wisdom, the resilience are making room in places you could never enter by force. The same hands that shaped you in secret are opening doors in public. You will walk through them not as a guest, but as one sent. Your visibility is not vanity, it's a vessel. You are being positioned to carry light into dark places, to bring heaven's frequency to those who have forgotten its sound. And as you rise, remember this truth. Humility keeps the crown steady. Stay low before God, even as He lifts you before men. Every word you speak carries light. Every act of kindness is a seed of heaven planted on earth. And this message, what you are hearing right now, is one of those divine seeds. When you like, when you share, when you support, you are not promoting a person, you are extending a flame. You are helping the message reach another soul standing where you once stood, tired, tested, and in need of a reminder that they, too, are chosen. If these words have watered your spirit, let them ripple outward, like a stone dropped into still water. Your small action can create waves across the nations. Sharing this isn't just a click, it's a quiet act of ministry. When you subscribe, you step into a fellowship of chosen ones around the world who carry the same divine DNA of endurance and light. And yes, if your heart feels stirred to give not as obligation, but as worship. Every offering, no matter how small, becomes oil that keeps this flame burning. It allows the message of faith, purpose, and divine identity to continue reaching those who are still walking through their night. You are not donating to a person, you are watering a mission. Think of it like this: some plant, others water, but God gives the growth. By supporting the message, you become part of heaven's chain of miracles. You are helping build altars in unseen hearts, places where hope can live again. So, beloved, as heaven moves you from hidden to heralded, remember the sacred rhythm God reveals. You respond, and the world receives. Keep your hands open. Keep your heart pure. What is coming next will not just elevate you, it will awaken others through you. You are a torchbearer, carrying light through the corridors of this generation. Every action you take in alignment with heaven, whether liking, sharing, subscribing, or sowing, adds oil to the lamp that refuses to go out. You are not just part of the audience, you are part of the movement. Rise, chosen one. The world is ready to hear the voice heaven has been preparing in secret. Step forward glowing, grounded, and grateful. The silence has served its purpose. The unveiling begins now. Chosen one, the unveiling has begun, and heaven watches as you take your first steps into the season of manifestation. You carry something sacred now, something earned through endurance and sealed through surrender. The mantle of the overcomer rests upon you. It is invisible to the natural eye, but in the spirit realm, it blazes like fire. When darkness sees you, it recognizes the authority of one who has prevailed. Your scars are not signs of defeat, they are marks of mastery. You didn't just survive the wilderness, you conquered it. And that conquest has clothed you in divine strength. The Father has placed a spiritual garment over you, woven with threads of perseverance and mercy. It fits you perfectly because it was tailored by your trials. Every tear you shed became a stitch in that heavenly fabric. This mantle carries memory. It remembers the nights you chose prayer over despair, worship over worry, and faith over fear. It is not a symbol of your pain, but of your persistence. You wear it not as a trophy, but as testimony. And everywhere you go, this invisible garment whispers to the darkness, this one belongs to God. The mantle of the overcomer is both weight and wonder. It grants you authority, but it also demands humility. You have power now, not the kind that dominates, but the kind that heals. When you speak, chains will loosen. When you move, the atmosphere will shift. When you pray, heaven listens. Because this power was not stolen, it was stewarded through suffering. We find in the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 11, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. They did not love their lives so much as to shrink from death. That is your story. You overcame not by strength, but by surrender, not by strategy, but by spirit. You didn't need to win every battle to be victorious. You only needed to keep standing. Every time you rose again after falling, you declared war on darkness, and heaven took note. This mantle you wear now glows with purpose. It is a sign that you are no longer who you were. You have passed through the waters and come out pure. You have walked through fire and emerged refined. The fragrance of your faith lingers in the air around you, and those who encounter you will feel peace they cannot explain. You will no longer have to announce who you are. The presence you carry will reveal it. But remember, chosen one, mantles are not for display, they are for service. You have been equipped to lift others, to intercede for those still wandering through their wilderness, to be light where others see only loss. The authority you now walk in is not about standing above others, but standing for them. The mark of true greatness is humility wrapped in fire. This is the hour where heaven entrusts you with people, with influence, with divine assignments that carry eternal significance. You will speak words that awaken callings, touch lives that have gone numb, and ignite hope where it has been extinguished. You have become an instrument of divine alignment, a vessel through which heaven touches earth. Do not underestimate the impact of your obedience. The smallest action done under the anointing carries more weight than the grandest gesture done without it. When you extend kindness, heaven moves. When you forgive, strongholds crumble. When you choose love over pride, you release light that ripples through generations. This is what it means to wear the mantle, to carry divine authority with a heart of compassion. You may feel unqualified at times, but that's what makes you chosen. God doesn't pick the perfect, He perfects the willing. You said yes when others ran. You remained faithful when faith seemed foolish. That's why heaven trusts you with what's next. You have proven that your loyalty is not conditional, it's covenantal. And now, chosen one, heaven gives you a new instruction: carry this mantle with reverence. Let your life be the proof of grace. Let your walk be the sermon that needs no stage. You are not called to impress, you are called to impact. And you will, because your obedience is the channel through which miracles flow. When people see you, they will not just see a survivor, they will see a story that glorifies God. Every room you enter will feel the shift, because the overcomer walks in with you. The atmosphere itself will bow to the authority you carry, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. If these words stir your spirit, seal this moment with a prophetic act of agreement. Type this number in the comments below as your declaration that you wear heaven's mantle with humility and strength, 888. This is not just a number, it's a symbol of new beginnings multiplied. It marks your transition from merely enduring to embodying victory. By typing it, you are saying, I walk clothed in divine purpose, and heaven will echo back, so be it. Chosen one. Every rise draws resistance. Every crown attracts conflict. The moment you stepped into your divine assignment, The kingdom of darkness felt the tremor. The enemy realized that what once silenced you now fuels you, and that your very existence testifies of God's faithfulness. This is why the pressure has intensified lately, because the adversary knows he cannot defeat you. But he still hopes to distract you. You are standing in the space between promise and fulfillment, the very crossroads where light and darkness collide. The warfare you sense is not punishment, it is confirmation that you carry something worth attacking. The devil does not waste his energy on the lukewarm, he only opposes those who are advancing the kingdom. So, if you felt the heat increase, know that it is because your influence in the Spirit has expanded. This is the enemy's last stand. Every storm he sends now is desperation, not domination. You have already won. But he tries to convince you that you haven't. He whispers lies about your future, replays your failures, and magnifies your fears. But even his noise serves a purpose. It reveals how threatened hell is by your obedience. In this season, you must remember that you are not fighting for victory, you are fighting from victory. The outcome was settled long ago when Christ conquered death. The same Spirit that raised him now lives within you. Your authority is not borrowed, it is inherited. When you speak, heaven moves. When you resist, hell retreats. The prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him. This is the call to spiritual clarity. The enemy thrives in confusion, but clarity destroys his grip. You can no longer live divided between conviction and compromise. The mantle you wear demands focus. The time for hesitation is over. The kingdom requires your full allegiance. You cannot fight darkness while flirting with it. The enemy's strategy is subtle. He rarely comes in obvious forms. He disguises distraction as opportunity, exhaustion as humility, compromise as compassion. But you must discern the difference between what is good and what is God. Not every open door is divine. Some are traps designed to drain your anointing. You've come too far to fall for the same tricks that once deceived you. Your discernment is sharper now because it was forged in battle. You've learned that peace isn't the absence of war, it's the presence of God in the midst of it. When the storm rages, your stillness confuses hell. When you refuse to panic, darkness loses power. Remember, the enemy cannot curse what God has blessed. He cannot reverse what heaven has decreed. He can only distract you from walking in your authority. That's why he stirs fear, anxiety, or comparison, because if he can't remove your calling, he'll try to make you doubt it. You must guard your focus like treasure. Guard your peace like sacred ground. The battlefield is no longer external, it's internal. The greatest victory is not over the devil, but over your own doubt. Every time you choose faith when fear screams louder, you remind hell that you are unstoppable. The enemy's attacks are the evidence of your impact. He only throws stones at moving targets. But what he doesn't realize is that every blow just sharpens your resolve. Every battle becomes training for greater authority. You are learning to fight not out of anger, but out of awareness. You are not reacting, you are reigning. Heaven watches as you hold your ground. Angels are assigned to you. The cloud of witnesses cheers for you. You are not alone in this war. The same God who delivered Daniel from lions and David from giants now defends you. The same spirit that empowered Esther to stand before kings empowers you to confront darkness with grace and strength. Yes, there will be moments of fatigue. There will be nights when you wonder if the fight is worth it. But each time you lift your eyes toward heaven, strength returns. Each time you speak truth into the chaos, light breaks through. You are learning to move in victory, even when surrounded by battle. The enemy will soon realize he has overplayed his hand. What he intended for destruction will become your demonstration. The more he presses, the brighter you'll shine. The darkness cannot comprehend the light. And you, chosen one, are light wrapped in flesh. You are the storm he cannot silence. So hold fast. Do not be moved by the noise. The shaking around you only reveals how strong your foundation has become. This is the final resistance before release. The enemy's desperate attempt before divine acceleration. He knows his time is short. But your rise is eternal. Stand in your authority. Speak with conviction. Move with certainty. You are not merely enduring this battle, you are embodying victory. The overcomer's mantle has made you untouchable in the spirit. The war around you is proof that the crown above you is real. Chosen one. The storm that surrounded you was never meant to destroy you, it was designed to accelerate you. Heaven is moving now with divine speed, compressing years into moments, aligning what once seemed scattered into a single flow of purpose. What you thought would take a lifetime, God will accomplish in a season. This is the mystery of divine acceleration, when preparation and obedience collide. Heaven removes delay. The world measures time in minutes, but heaven measures it in moments. One act of obedience can redeem a decade. One divine encounter can shift generations. You have entered that realm now, the realm where faith outruns time. Every step you take in alignment with God's will multiplies impact beyond what logic can explain. You once prayed for open doors, but heaven was preparing you for open dimensions. This is not about human opportunity anymore. It's about divine orchestration. Things are moving behind the scenes that you cannot yet see, connections forming, hearts softening, resources aligning. It may appear sudden, but it is not sudden to heaven. It is the harvest of every hidden seed you've sown in tears. The delays were not denials, they were divine storage. God has been holding blessings in reserve, waiting for the moment you were mature enough to carry them without corruption. Now that your heart is purified, He releases what He's been preparing all along. The pace of your life will change because the weight of your calling requires movement. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, we find in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 13, "The days are coming, declares the Lord, when the reaper will be overtaken by the plowman and the planter by the one treading grapes. New wine will drip from the mountains and flow from all the hills." This is the prophecy of acceleration unfolding before you. The season of waiting and working will overlap. You will see fruit while you're still planting. You will witness answers before you finish the prayer. The slow pace of the past is giving way to supernatural speed. Heaven is not just responding, it is advancing on your behalf. Yet acceleration demands alignment. You cannot run with divine momentum while carrying unnecessary weight. The Spirit whispers, "Travel light, release resentment, let go of fear. Lay aside every old expectation that no longer fits your new season." You cannot reach promise while clinging to patterns from your past. You will notice that some relationships fade as you move faster, not out of rejection, but out of redirection. Some people were assignments for your wilderness, not partners for your promise. Do not grieve the ones who cannot run with you. Bless them, release them, and keep moving. Divine acceleration requires divine pruning. You will also feel the tension between speed and stillness. Acceleration in God's kingdom is not frantic, it is fluid. It feels like rest in motion, grace in movement. You will accomplish more with less strain because heaven's wind is now at your back. What was once uphill becomes effortless when grace carries you forward. You will sense divine coincidences that are not coincidences at all, encounters that seem random, conversations that unlock destiny, opportunities that appear perfectly timed. These are not accidents, they are coordinates on heaven's map. When you walk in obedience, every step is strategic, every moment intentional. Be mindful not to mistake acceleration for ambition. Ambition forces, but acceleration flows. The difference is peace. When God accelerates you, it won't feel like striving, it will feel like soaring. Doors will open without manipulation. Favor will find you without striving. You will move faster, not because you run harder, but because heaven clears the path before your feet. There will come a day soon when you look back and barely recognize the life you once lived. The prayers that took years to form will suddenly manifest as reality. You will stand in rooms that once existed only in your vision. But when that happens, remember, speed is not the goal, obedience is. Divine acceleration is always meant to advance His will, not inflate your ego. Guard your pace. Stay anchored in prayer. Move only when the wind moves. Just as the Israelites followed the cloud by day and the fire by night, you too must move only at the rhythm of heaven. Divine acceleration is dangerous without divine direction. The Spirit will nudge you with quiet promptings. Speak now. Wait here. Turn this way. Trust those whispers. They are your compass. The steps of the righteous are not random. They are orchestrated with precision. Every pivot, every pause, every leap is part of a greater choreography written by the hand of God. You will begin to see restoration and reward converging at once. Things that were lost will return with interest. What seemed dormant will suddenly bear fruit. Divine acceleration does not simply move you forward, it multiplies what you carry. So do not fear the pace. You were built for this. Your spirit has been trained for movement. Your heart conditioned for trust. The years that felt wasted are now becoming the fuel of your momentum. You are running not from your past, but toward your purpose. Chosen one. Your time has come. Step into this divine flow. You will not stumble, you will soar. And as you move, remember this truth. You are not chasing destiny. Destiny is catching up to you. Chosen one. As acceleration sweeps through your life, the next revelation dawns the unveiling of your true identity. For years, you were defined by what you survived, by what people said, by what seasons shaped. But now heaven calls you to see yourself as you truly are, the reflection of divine intent. You are not who the world labeled you. You are who heaven designed you to be. The enemy has always fought to distort that image. He tried to bury you under guilt, fear, and comparison, because he knew that if you ever discovered who you really are, he could never control you again. But now, the veil is gone. The mirror has been cleaned. The Spirit holds it before you and whispers, "Look again. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not lost. You are led. You are not forgotten. You are favored. Heaven is not surprised by your scars. It uses them as signatures of grace. The same voice that formed galaxies now speaks over you. You are mine. For so long you chased validation, seeking approval from those who could not see your calling. But God was teaching you that identity cannot be borrowed, it must be birthed. You learned that applause fades, but purpose remains. Every rejection redirected you back to the only opinion that matters, the one who called you chosen before time began. As the apostle writes in the book of Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared for us." You carry something rare, the fingerprint of heaven. It's why you never quite fit into ordinary spaces. You've always felt different, set apart, a little out of sync with the patterns of this world. That's not rejection, it's recognition. Heaven marked you for distinction, not conformity. The unease you felt was your spirit resisting the mold of mediocrity. The Spirit of God now says, "You have permission to be who I created you to be." The fear of being misunderstood no longer owns you. The need to explain your light to those who prefer the dark no longer limits you. You are stepping into bold authenticity, the state of being fully aligned with divine identity. Chosen one. Hear this clearly. Humility is not denying your worth. Humility is embracing it without arrogance. To shrink from your calling is not modesty, it's disobedience. God didn't create you to blend in. He created you to stand out as a beacon of His grace. You are meant to carry light into places too dark for others to enter. That light is not pride, it is purpose. You are the echo of divine creativity. The answer to a problem on earth that only your life can solve. Your voice carries healing frequencies. Your presence shifts atmospheres. And your obedience releases miracles. Heaven invested deeply in your existence. And now, that investment is ready to yield fruit. But with revelation comes responsibility. Knowing who you are means walking with intention. You cannot treat yourself carelessly when heaven treats you as treasure. Guard your peace. Protect your purity. Live as one, aware of the crown that rests upon your head. And remember, identity isn't built in applause, it's built in alignment. You are not who people perceive you to be in their seasons of blindness. You are who God has always known you to be in His eternal sight. When you wake each morning, remind yourself, I am heaven's idea, not earth's mistake. Every time you step into purpose, darkness trembles because it recognizes your name in the Spirit. You are not just another believer, you are an ambassador, a carrier of divine DNA. The world will begin to see in you what heaven has already seen, the reflection of the King. This moment is holy. Your mind is being renewed. Your vision redefined. You are no longer chasing identity, you are embodying it. You are not trying to become chosen, you already are. This realization is your liberation. And now, to seal this revelation in your spirit, declare your agreement with heaven's truth. Type these words in the comments as a sign that you accept your divine identity fully and fearlessly. I am chosen. When you write those 3 words, you do more than comment, you align. You speak identity into the atmosphere, affirming that you are no longer defined by your past, but by purpose. You are testifying to heaven, to earth, and even to your own soul, I know who I am. And that awareness will change everything. Chosen one. The revelation of your identity marks the beginning of a covenant season, an era where heaven not only calls you by name, but clothes you in fire and favor. you are now stepping into the covenant of flame, where God's promises become not distant words, but living reality. This covenant is not merely about blessings, it is about belonging. It is a divine agreement sealed in faith and confirmed through fire. When God makes covenant, He doesn't just shake your hand, He marks your heart. His favor becomes a shield around you, His presence a fire within you. Everywhere you go, heaven goes with you. You are no longer walking beneath the weather of the world, you carry your own spiritual atmosphere. The flame of this covenant purifies. It burns away what no longer serves your destiny. It exposes false attachments and illuminates paths once hidden in shadow. The fire of God does not destroy, it defines. It removes everything that is not truly you until only the pure gold of your calling remains. The favor that accompanies this covenant is not ordinary. It is not the kind that can be earned through effort or influence. It is the favor that rests on those who have endured refining and remained faithful. It's the kind of favor that turns rejection into redirection and delay into divine delivery. It is the supernatural current that moves you where human effort cannot. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verse 21. By day, the Lord went ahead in a pillar of cloud to guide them, and by night a pillar of fire to give them light. That same pillar now burns above your life. The light that led Israel through the wilderness now leads you through uncertainty. The covenant fire that once guarded a nation now guards your destiny. You will not walk in darkness again because the covenant has lit your path. Chosen one. Understand that divine favor is not random, it is relational. God favors those who partner with His purpose. His favor finds the faithful and multiplies their obedience. It's not about striving, it's about staying. Staying in alignment, staying in humility, staying near the flame. The closer you stay to His fire, the brighter your life will shine. That's why everything you do now carries eternal weight. Every word, every act of kindness, every step of faith adds wood to the flame. When you share what heaven is speaking, you're not promoting a person, you're passing the torch. Like embers spreading from one heart to another. The message multiplies through simple acts of obedience. When you click like, it's more than a gesture, it's a spark. When you share, you fan the flame across borders, into lives you'll never meet in person. Someone's night might end because your share carried light into their feed. When you subscribe, you're not joining a channel, you're joining a movement of light bearers, keeping the fire alive together. And if your spirit feels stirred to give, do it not out of duty, but devotion. Your gift becomes oil for this flame, sustaining the flow of words, the creation of messages, the reaching of hearts that sit in silence waiting to hear. You are chosen too. Giving is not loss, it's planting. When you sow into divine soil, you participate in miracles you'll never see, but heaven will record. Picture this, a traveler walking through night, carrying a single lantern. Each donation, each act of support, is like adding another flame to that lantern, making its glow stretch further, guiding others through the same darkness you once knew. That is what your generosity does. It turns one voice into a chorus of light. The covenant of fire and favor is about partnership, heaven's flame, earth's hands. God sends the fire, but we build the altar. Your engagement builds that altar. Every like is a stone, every share a breath of oxygen, every gift a drop of oil. Together, we keep the fire alive for those who still wander without warmth. You see, favor flows through connection. When you help carry this message forward, that same favor begins to circle back into your own life. The hand that gives becomes the hand God fills. The heart that shares becomes the vessel God uses. You are not a spectator in this story. You are a participant in heaven's movement. So, as you listen now, pause and feel the flame within you. It burns quietly but powerfully, testifying that the covenant is real. You are no longer waiting for favor, you are walking in it. Every day, the pillar of light goes before you, and the fire of His presence rests within you. Keep tending this sacred fire. Feed it with faith, with love, with generosity. When you support the light, you expand its reach. And one day, when you least expect it, you'll meet someone whose life was changed by a message you helped carry, and you'll realize the covenant was never about one, it was always about all. This is the beauty of divine partnership. Heaven ignites, and you sustain. God releases, and you respond. Together, you become a living flame that darkness cannot extinguish. Chosen one, as the covenant of fire and favor burns within you. Heaven turns its gaze toward a sacred promise: restoration. What was taken, what was delayed, what was broken and left in pieces, now begins to return in divine order. The God who sees all things has been keeping record, not of your failures, but of your faithfulness. And now, the season of restoration has come. You have endured loss, some visible, some unseen. People walked away, dreams crumbled, doors closed, and you wondered if those things would ever breathe again. But in heaven's calendar, restoration always follows refinement. After the fire has purified, new life begins to grow from the ashes. What seemed ruined beyond repair becomes the very ground of renewal. God never restores things exactly as they were. He restores them better. He adds weight, depth, and glory to every part of your story. What was broken is not merely glued back together, it is transformed into something stronger, more radiant. The scars remain, but they shine with redemption. There were times you thought, I have lost too much to recover. But heaven whispers, you haven't lost, only planted. The tears you shed watered the seeds of tomorrow's joy. The prayers you thought fell to the ground were collected in golden bowls, ready to be poured back as blessing. Nothing faithful ever disappears. It only goes underground until it's time to bloom. The prophet Joel declared in chapter 2, verse 25, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. Those words are alive in your life right now. The years that seemed wasted, the seasons that felt stolen, are being rewritten by grace. Restoration is not only about getting things back, it's about redemption of time, energy, and opportunity. God is not limited by clocks or calendars. He restores by multiplying impact. You will soon realize that what you thought ended was actually evolving. The friendships that dissolved made room for covenant connections. The opportunities that fell through paved the path to higher purpose. The rejection that stung was the redirection that saved you. Heaven's restoration is never random, it is always redemptive. This process is already unfolding. You might not see it clearly yet, but the shift is in motion. God is touching memories that once brought pain and turning them into testimonies. You will revisit old places, but this time, your heart will be healed. The things that once made you weep will now make you worship. Restoration also brings revelation. You will begin to see why certain seasons had to end, why certain people couldn't stay, and why certain dreams had to die first so that better ones could live. Every closure was preparation for a grander opening. Every detour was destiny's hidden direction. Heaven is not just giving things back to you, it's bringing them back through you. The restoration will begin in your spirit before it manifests in your surroundings. Peace will return first, then provision. Joy will fill you before justice finds you. Everything external will mirror what has already been made whole within. There will be moments of sudden reversal where lack turns into abundance overnight, where opportunities reappear, where reconciliation unfolds in ways you could never orchestrate. You will stand in awe as you watch God restore what was lost with such precision that it feels as though it was never gone. That is the signature of divine restoration. It is complete, seamless, and saturated with love. But remember, restoration is not a return to comfort, it is a return to calling. The things God restores always come back with purpose. What He places in your hands again carries the weight of responsibility. You are being trusted with what once broke you because now you know how to carry it differently. You no longer grasp from need, you steward from gratitude. Let your heart rest. Chosen one, you are not behind. You have not missed your moment. The timeline of heaven runs deeper than your understanding. What belongs to you by covenant cannot be stolen. It can only be stored until you are ready. So lift your eyes. The signs are already appearing. Conversations you thought ended will reopen with grace. Projects you abandoned will find breath again. Places you left in sorrow will one day welcome you in celebration. God restores with precision and poetry, turning tears into testimony, loss into legacy. Every empty space is about to be filled, not just with replacement, but with revelation. You will understand that restoration was never about regaining what you lost, but realizing what you gained through loss, wisdom, endurance, empathy, strength, and unwavering faith. These are the true treasures heaven was cultivating all along. And when the fullness of restoration arrives, you will smile, not because everything returned, but because you did. Chosen one, the winds are shifting again. Heaven is not still, something in the unseen is stirring, aligning, awakening. The air around your spirit feels different because the atmosphere itself is responding to your obedience. You have passed through wilderness and warfare, through breaking and rebuilding. And now, even creation begins to acknowledge what heaven has already declared. You have changed dimensions. Everything around you senses it, the people, the places, the patterns. What used to attract you no longer holds you. What once drained you cannot reach you. You are operating at a higher frequency now, a spiritual vibration that resonates with heaven's rhythm. The more you walk in obedience, the more the earth aligns to your voice. When God elevates someone, the universe must make room. Space bends to accommodate divine assignment. That is why familiar structures suddenly shift, why comfort zones feel too small, why things that once worked begin to fall away. It's not instability, it's transformation. The old wineskin cannot hold the new wine of your calling. The prophet Habakkuk wrote in chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come, and will not delay. You are living in that verse right now. The revelation that once lingered has reached its appointed time. The promises that seemed distant are suddenly drawing near. The delays were not denials, they were the alignment of timing and character. Heaven was preparing both the promise and the person, and now both are ready. You are not the same vessel that began this journey. Your faith has matured, your discernment sharpened, your endurance refined. You have learned how to hear heaven not through thunder, but through stillness. You have discovered that true authority flows not from striving, but from surrender. This is why your words carry more weight now. They are born from intimacy, not impulse. When you speak peace, chaos calms. When you declare truth, confusion lifts. When you walk into a space, the atmosphere adjusts because divine order recognizes divine authority. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. You are no longer simply existing in the world. You are influencing it spiritually. This shift also explains the tension you may feel. Acceleration is beautiful, but it is also stretching. You are growing faster than you expected, being positioned sooner than you planned. Heaven trusts you with responsibility that once terrified you. And though part of you still wonders, "Am I ready?" Heaven answers, "Yes, you are." The shaking you sense is not danger, it is destiny settling into place. God is repositioning you for impact. Every element around you is responding to His hand. People are being moved, opportunities arranged, conversations orchestrated, all to bring you into alignment with your next assignment. The Spirit whispers, "Be sensitive. The next chapter of your life will not arrive with noise, but with knowing." The still, small voice will guide you to doors that look ordinary but open into the extraordinary. You will feel nudges in your spirit, trust them. The same wind that carried Noah's Ark and parted the Red Sea now breathes upon your path. Even nature itself reflects what's happening within you. Trees lose their leaves before new growth appears. Rivers change course when the landscape shifts. Likewise, parts of your life are shedding so new things can live. Don't mourn the loss of the old season. It's proof that a fresh one has begun. You may notice that your dreams grow clearer, your instincts stronger, your prayers more precise. That's because the atmosphere around you is no longer clouded by doubt. Heaven has cleared the interference. You are learning to operate in real-time revelation, receiving divine instruction, and acting before fear has time to argue. In this new atmosphere, miracles will no longer surprise you, they will follow you. Favor will appear naturally, as if the world itself has remembered who you are. And in truth, it has. Creation recognizes the voice of the Creator within His chosen. This shift is not temporary, it's transformational. You have crossed from reaction to rulership, from striving to stewardship. You are learning not just to receive heaven's movement, but to carry it. Every step you take will create ripples that affect others, drawing them toward their own awakening. Chosen one, you are not only walking under an open heaven, you are the open heaven through which God flows. You are His living altar, His moving sanctuary, His voice clothed in flesh. If your spirit feels the shift and your heart bears witness to these words, mark this moment in faith. Type this prophetic number below to declare that you stand in agreement with the new atmosphere heaven has released over your life. 555. This number represents divine change, grace multiplied, and transformation in motion. By writing it, you are not performing a ritual, You are sealing revelation. You are declaring that your atmosphere aligns with heaven, that your steps are ordered, and that you are ready for what's next. Let the angels record it. Let creation respond. The shift has begun, and nothing can stop what heaven has started in you. Chosen one. As the new atmosphere settles around you, something magnificent begins to unfold. You start to realize that you are not alone in this awakening. Across the earth, in quiet corners and crowded cities alike, others like you are stirring men and women who have walked through fire, who have carried invisible battles, who have endured the breaking and yet refused to bow to darkness. Heaven calls them the remnant. This rising is not a coincidence, it is a divine synchronization. Heaven is gathering its warriors, the hidden ones who carried truth when truth became unpopular, who chose purity when compromise looked easier, who loved mercy when the world rewarded manipulation. They are awakening not through human plans, but through heavenly orchestration. You, chosen one, are part of this company. The remnant does not rise with noise but with power. Their strength is not in numbers but in unity. They carry an unspoken understanding, a recognition of spirit that transcends words. When they meet, they sense it like two flames acknowledging the same fire. They may not share the same background, language, or culture, but they share the same call to stand, to shine, to carry the presence of God into places long abandoned by hope. This generation's remnant is not defined by titles or positions, but by posture, hearts bowed before God, yet eyes lifted toward destiny. They are kings who serve, warriors who weep, prophets who love. Their authority does not come from influence, but from intimacy. Heaven trusts them because they have proven that power will not corrupt their purpose. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 60, verse 2, See, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness is over the peoples. But the Lord rises upon you, and his glory appears over you. That is the prophecy fulfilled in this hour. Darkness may cover nations, but light is rising through the remnant. It will not come through systems or politics, but through the purity of hearts that carry heaven's fire. You are among those hearts. Your obedience contributes to a chorus of light that will blanket the world. Every act of faith you've taken, every prayer whispered, every tear sown, every step of obedience when no one saw was not isolated. It connected to something bigger. Your faith has been woven into a global tapestry of divine purpose. The flame in your heart is one among many, and together they form a blazing constellation across the earth. This is why your refining had to be so precise. Heaven was not preparing you just for personal success, but for corporate purpose. You are a thread in heaven's strategy, a vital piece of an eternal plan. Without your yes, a portion of light would be missing from the map. That's how crucial your obedience is. The rise of the remnant does not look glamorous. It begins in prayer closets, in tears, in late-night intercession. It begins with forgiveness when bitterness would have been easier, with generosity when resources are low, with truth when silence feels safer. Every unseen act of righteousness becomes a brick in heaven's invisible kingdom being built on earth. And though the world does not yet recognize it, the spiritual landscape is shifting. Systems are shaking, idols are crumbling, and the light is gathering strength. There is coming a moment when the hidden ones will step into visibility, not for applause, but for assignment. They will carry healing where there has been despair, justice where there has been corruption, and peace where there has been division. You will begin to encounter them, those whose spirits resonate with yours. They may cross your path unexpectedly, drawn not by coincidence, but by divine magnetism. You will know them by their fruit, by the peace they carry, by the authority in their quietness. When you find them, honor them. They are your tribe, the ones who understand without explanation, who fight beside you in spirit even from afar. Together, you form an unbreakable circle of light. Each remnant carries a spark, but when united, you become a wildfire of righteousness that no force of darkness can extinguish. The enemy fears unity because he knows that once the chosen ones align, his dominion weakens. That is why division has been his favorite weapon. But now, discernment and love are dismantling his schemes. The rise of the remnant marks the dawn of a new spiritual era. It is not revival, as humanity defines it. It is heaven's reclamation of hearts. It is the return of awe, the rebirth of reverence, the restoration of purity in worship. It is God reminding creation that light still rules, that faith still conquers, that love still wins. Chosen one, lift your eyes and see it, flames igniting across continents, voices rising in unison, hearts burning with purpose. You are not a lone soldier, you are part of an army commissioned by heaven itself. Move forward with courage. The world may tremble at what it sees falling apart, but you will rejoice in what is being built. You are not witnessing the end, you are witnessing the unveiling of God's plan. And you, beloved, are a vital part of it. Chosen one, the gathering of the remnant marks the approach of something sacred, your crowning moment of destiny. Heaven has watched you walk through hidden seasons of testing, through storms that stripped you bare, through silence that carved depth into your soul. Now the time of preparation gives way to the time of recognition. The crown, long promised and patiently awaited, is being placed upon your spirit. This crowning is not a ceremony for the eyes of men, it is a coronation witnessed in the unseen realm. Angels observe in reverence, and heaven records the moment. The crown is not made of gold or adorned with jewels, it is woven from obedience, humility, endurance, and love. It shines with the light of surrender, a radiance that no earthly metal could ever mirror. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle James. Chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Understand, this truth: crowns in the kingdom are not given for performance, but for perseverance. The world rewards talent, heaven rewards endurance. The crown you receive today is not a decoration, it is a declaration. It proclaims that your loyalty to God outweighed every temptation to give up. It announces to darkness that you have completed your testing and been found faithful. The weight of this crown is not heavy, it is holy. You will feel it not on your head, but in your heart. It is the awareness of divine approval, the quiet strength that comes from knowing heaven is pleased. The crown is both honor and responsibility. It carries authority, but it also carries compassion. You are not crowned to rule over people, you are crowned to serve them. Every time you lift someone, heaven sees your royalty. Every time you forgive, your crown glows brighter. Every act of humility polishes it. Every act of kindness strengthens it. The King who crowned you does not measure greatness by power, but by love. You reflect him most when you give without seeking, when you lead without pride, when you choose mercy over recognition. This coronation is also a spiritual shift. With every crown comes a greater weight of glory and a deeper call to stewardship. You will notice an increase in spiritual sensitivity. You will hear heaven's whispers more clearly, discern motives more sharply, and see purpose more precisely. The crown amplifies your awareness of the divine because it was forged in your communion with God. Do not fear the visibility that follows. The crown may draw attention, but let it draw hearts to the one who gave it. You are not meant to hide this light, it is meant to guide. Your crown is not for display, it's for direction. Through you, others will see that endurance leads to elevation, that faithfulness leads to favor. There will be those who do not understand your rise. Some will misinterpret your confidence as pride, your authority as ambition. But the crown you wear is invisible to those who judge by sight. You don't need to explain what God has ordained. The King himself will vindicate you through fruit. Your life will speak louder than any defense ever could. This moment does not mark an end, but a beginning. The crown signifies that you have graduated from one level of testing to another level of purpose. You will now carry influence in realms you never imagined, not because you sought them, but because heaven trusts you there. You are an ambassador of light, a carrier of royal essence in a world starving for truth. Remember, the crown is not permanent metal, it is living flame. It requires care. Guard your thoughts, protect your peace, and stay close to the one who crowned you. The closer you remain to his presence, the brighter your crown will burn. The farther you drift, the dimmer it will glow. Royalty in the kingdom is sustained through intimacy, not status. And when the weight of responsibility feels too much, remember that you were never meant to carry it alone. The same hands that placed the crown upon you are the hands that uphold you. His grace will always outweigh your burden. The King who called you worthy will never abandon his own. So, walk with quiet dignity, crowned but humble, powerful yet peaceful. Let your steps echo heaven's authority and your words drip with kindness. The world does not need another ruler. It needs royal hearts that reflect divine love. That is who you are now, a crowned servant, a luminous soul, a living testimony of what happens when endurance meets eternity. This is your coronation. Chosen one, heaven smiles as you stand tall, radiant beneath invisible light. You have not only survived, you have ascended, and the crown you now wear is proof that faith, when tested, always triumphs. Chosen one, the crown rests upon your spirit now, gleaming with quiet authority. Yet as heaven crowns, it also commissions. This is the moment where power meets purpose, where you are entrusted not just with favor, but with responsibility. The crown is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of your stewardship. You are now called to carry divine glory with wisdom, to be flame and foundation at once, radiant but rooted, bold yet benevolent. To carry glory is to walk with awareness. Every word you speak ripples through eternity. Every action releases fragrance into the atmosphere. Your influence, once hidden, now flows outward like a river finding its course. God does not pour glory into still water. He pours it into channels that are willing to flow. You are that channel now. As the Apostle Peter declared in his first letter, chapter 4, verse 10. Use whatever gift you have received to serve others. As faithful stewards of God's grace in its many forms. That verse is your new instruction manual. Heaven has entrusted you with treasures of time, talent, and testimony, not to hoard, but to heal. To steward glory means to hold power gently, to serve without seeking spotlight, to give without expecting return. You are now a torchbearer in a world dimmed by distraction, and your light must move with purpose. Your story now becomes seed. Every word you share, every truth you speak, every lesson you've lived through has the power to plant hope in another heart. Don't underestimate the reach of your voice. Somewhere out there, a weary soul is waiting for the very light you carry. That's why this message exists not as performance, but as ministry. When you like, you are not simply reacting, you are agreeing. When you share, you're scattering seeds across fields you'll never visit, but heaven will water. Each act of connection expands the radius of light. If the words you've heard in these messages have touched you, let them move through you. Be like the ocean that never hoards the waves it gives and receives in constant rhythm. Let the flow continue. By subscribing, you don't join a list, you join a lineage, a growing circle of chosen ones whose collective light pierces the digital night. And if you ever feel stirred to sow, to give, do it as one planting into sacred soil. Donations in this movement are not transactions, they are testimonies. Every seed becomes oil for the flame, fuel for future words, for new messages that will reach corners of the world where despair still lingers. Think of it as tending a vineyard. Some plant, some water, others guard the vines, but all share in the harvest. Your support, whether by time, attention, or generosity, is what allows these messages to keep flowing freely to those who need them most. You become part of the unseen team of light bearers who make the impossible possible. Even your engagement, your comments, your encouragement are holy echoes. When you comment, you release faith into the atmosphere. You add warmth to a community that transcends screens and distance. Your words might be the reminder that keeps someone else standing in their own midnight. So, when you finish hearing this message, don't scroll past silently. Speak life back into it. Write your own declaration, your own Amen, your own line of gratitude or awakening. Every word you leave becomes part of the living altar we're building together, one message, one heart, one spark at a time. Carrying glory also means modeling humility. Remember that true greatness is not measured in applause, but in alignment. You were not chosen to impress, you were chosen to impact. The brightness of your crown does not depend on spotlight, but on surrender. The secret of sustained glory is staying close to its source. Every sunrise is a reminder of stewardship. The sun rises not to boast, but to serve. It shines because it must, and through its shining, life happens. That is what you are now, a daily dawn to someone else's darkness. Your life will illuminate paths without even trying. And as this message reaches its close, remember, you are part of something alive. You are one flame among many, a light keeper in the great chain of divine purpose. The crown you carry, the favor you steward, the words you share, all of it forms a constellation of hope across the world. So, like the morning sun, rise again every day with intention. Shine, not for applause, but for alignment. Speak truth, not for fame, but for freedom. And if these words resonate within you, let your simple response be your participation, your like, your share, your gift, your comment, each act a spark that says to heaven, I am here, still shining, still serving. Chosen one, the crown upon your spirit glows with quiet fire, and heaven whispers the next phase of your calling. The nations await your voice. The same voice that trembled in prayer, that whispered through tears, that spoke truth in silence, is now being amplified beyond borders. The words that once echoed only in your private wilderness will soon resonate across lands and languages. This is the unfolding of divine purpose. What was personal becomes prophetic. Every nation holds its own wounds, its own longing for healing, its own cry in the night. And within you lies the sound that answers that cry. God placed within your spirit a resonance that transcends culture and language, a frequency of heaven that speaks directly to the hearts of men. When you release your truth, it does not merely inform, it transforms. It bypasses intellect and pierces spirit. That is why your voice matters now more than ever. At first, the calling will seem too large, too weighty. You may think, who am I to speak to nations? But heaven responds, who were you not to? You were born for this. Every hardship, every season of obscurity, every lesson carved through loss was preparation for influence that will carry eternal weight. You were being trained not in visibility, but in authority. Now that authority will begin to manifest. The prophet Jeremiah recorded these words in chapter 1, verse 10. Today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. This ancient declaration now breathes over your destiny. Your words are instruments of restoration and realignment. You will uproot lies, tear down strongholds, dismantle false altars, and plant seeds of truth that outlive you. You are not called to entertain the world. You are called to awaken it. You may never stand on every platform, but your influence will. Your obedience will travel farther than your feet ever could. Messages birthed in prayer will reach people you will never meet. This is how heaven spreads. One surrendered life becomes a lighthouse for many. The nations will hear, not because of your name, but because of your obedience. There are people in distant lands already dreaming of light, but not yet knowing its source. They will encounter your words, your art, your service, your presence, and something inside them will remember heaven. You will speak the language of eternity without even realizing it. Because when God speaks through you, the sound carries recognition. It reminds souls of home. But hear this, chosen one, the influence that flows from heaven must be guarded by humility. Global calling requires grounded character. Fame without foundation collapses, but favor built on faith endures. Let every step you take be anchored in prayer. Let every opportunity be filtered through discernment. Not every stage is sacred. Not every invitation is divine. Learn to recognize the fragrance of true purpose from the perfume of false praise. The world will soon search for authenticity, for voices unbought, unbent, unbroken by compromise. That is why heaven is raising you now. You are not meant to echo others. You are meant to embody truth. Your distinct sound is needed because it carries healing for wounds specific to this generation. You may wonder, will they listen? Will they understand? Do not concern yourself with outcomes. Focus on obedience. The one who sent you will ensure that your words reach the ears assigned to hear them, just as rivers find the sea. Your message will find its destination. Some hearts will resist at first, but even resistance will serve the plan. It will make the truth echo louder. Every word you release is seed. Some will sprout instantly. Others will take years. But in time, nations will bear fruit from your faithfulness. The impact will be subtle at first, a single life changed, a quiet ripple through a community. Yet soon the ripples will converge into waves, and those waves will shape cultures. That is the hidden power of divine influence. It multiplies invisibly until suddenly it cannot be ignored. You will see people from distant lands rise, carrying the same fire that once flickered in you. They will speak of hope and courage, of faith and endurance. And you will recognize the echo. It is your seed now bearing fruit in them. Heaven will show you glimpses of this harvest so that your heart remains encouraged. You will know that your voice did not vanish into air. It became light that multiplied across time. In the midst of this expansion, stay intimate with the source. Let your global reach never replace your private altar. Continue to pray like no one hears, to worship like no one watches, to love like no one repays. These hidden practices will sustain the public purpose. The nations may call you ambassador, teacher, or leader, but heaven will still call you beloved. This is the mystery of divine influence. It begins in the secret place and extends to the ends of the earth. You are not called to conquer nations. You are called to serve them, to carry peace into chaos, to bring healing to division, to remind the world that heaven has not withdrawn its hand. And when you stand before kings or crowds, remember the words whispered in your wilderness. You are chosen not for spotlight, but for stewardship. The light you carry belongs to the world, but the flame that sustains it belongs to God. Keep the two in balance, and your influence will outlast your lifetime. Chosen one, the sound of your obedience now echoes in heaven's halls. The story that began in wilderness and breaking now concludes in glory and remembrance. The eternal seal of the chosen is being written, not with ink, but with fire, the signature of God upon your life. Heaven has recorded your journey, every hidden prayer, every surrendered yes, every tear that watered the soil of faith. It all stands as testimony before the throne. This is not a seal of finality, it is a seal of continuity. The seal does not end the story, it preserves it. What has been written about you in heaven cannot be erased by the opinions of earth. The angels carry the record of your faithfulness like sacred scrolls, evidence that light triumphed through one obedient heart. There are moments when you may wonder, was it worth it? The pain, the pruning, the patience, and heaven answers through the stillness, yes. Every moment was necessary. Nothing in your process was wasted. Every loss was an exchange. Every delay, a design. Every trial, a teacher. What was written for you before time has now manifested through you in time. You have fulfilled the part of eternity that was shaped in your likeness. The Apostle Paul wrote in the book of Timothy, chapter 4, verse 7-8, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day. Those words now rest upon your life as a declaration. You have fought your fight not with weapons of flesh, but with the endurance of faith. You have finished not a race of competition, but of calling, and you have kept the faith through valleys and storms, proving that love is stronger than fear. Look around your life. Chosen one, the signs of completion are subtle yet undeniable. The same places where you once wept now carry peace. The same circumstances that once terrified you now serve as monuments of victory. What was once your battlefield has become your garden. You walk through the ruins of your old pain and realize flowers are growing through the cracks. This is what divine restoration looks like when it reaches its fullness. It transforms not only circumstance, but perspective. The trials that once seemed like curses now appear as blessings in disguise. You begin to thank God not only for the open doors, but for the closed ones, not only for the people who stayed, but for those who left. Everything, every detail, was necessary to shape the masterpiece of your destiny. The seal also carries a mystery. It makes you timeless, not in body, but in spirit. When heaven seals a soul, that life becomes a living word, something that continues to speak long after silence. Your obedience will continue to work in unseen ways, like a fragrance that lingers in a room long after the light has gone out. You are a reminder to the world that faith leaves footprints even in eternity. In the realm of spirit, your name now glows with divine recognition, not fame, but faithfulness, not spotlight, but significance. Heaven honors not the loud, but the loyal, and you have proven loyal through fire, loyal through silence, loyal through waiting. The record of your life shines like an inscription on the gates of glory. This one was found faithful. There is a stillness now, a holy hush, as heaven completes the chapter. Angels seal the record, and the Spirit whispers, "Well done, beloved," not because you were flawless, but because you were faithful. The seal upon you guarantees that nothing can undo what God has begun. But even in completion, there is continuation. The seal means that your influence will ripple beyond the limits of your lifetime. The seeds you've sown in prayer will bloom in fields you will never walk. The words you've spoken in faith will echo in hearts yet unborn. The legacy of the chosen is not confined to time, it spills into eternity. Now, rest in this truth. You have become what heaven intended. The chosen are not defined by what they accomplish, but by what they embody. You embody endurance, redemption, and divine purpose fulfilled. The seal upon your spirit is the signature of completion. Yet it is also the promise of continuation, the assurance that what began in you will continue through others who are awakened by your light. So stand still, chosen one. Let heaven's peace wash over you like morning light. The trials are behind you. The testimony is before you, and the seal of eternity rests upon you. You are known. You are remembered. You are recorded forever in the chronicles of heaven. Chosen one. Your journey through the divine narrative has come full circle. You have walked from wilderness to wonder, from testing to triumph, from silence to song. Heaven has recorded your endurance, but earth now awaits your echo. What began as a whisper of faith has become a voice of awakening, and now that voice belongs to you. The story does not end here, it expands. Every time you revisit these words, you stir the flame again. Every time you share light, you multiply hope. The message you've carried is not meant to rest, it is meant to run. Let it travel through your actions, your words, your presence. When you like this message, it isn't a reaction, it's a recognition. It tells heaven, I am still here, still chosen, still standing. When you share, you become a bridge, passing the torch to another weary traveler who needs a reminder that they are not forgotten. Your comment, however simple, becomes part of this sacred conversation between heaven and earth. Write what the Spirit placed in you. It could be gratitude, revelation, or simply your amen. Those words have power. They strengthen unseen hearts. And if you feel drawn to stay connected, subscribe not as a follower, but as a flame keeper. Each message that flows here carries oil for your spirit. Together, we keep the fire alive, ensuring that the sound of awakening never fades. This story began with heaven speaking your name, and it ends with heaven still whispering, shine. The world needs your light now more than ever. So rise again, carry what you've received, and let your life become a living sermon. Your chapter may close here, but your calling continues.